Egg yolk, what is sizzling with the viewers of the tube and the Chico Army? So why don't we continue from yesterday and end this week off with NFTs, the non-fungi type of things. If you understand the gravity of them, it's most likely the reason you're watching this channel. So let's begin, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Please, oh please, understand the world of NFTs. It's the next evolution of DeFi that could change every aspect of our lives through tokenization. And we need to dive right back into this NFT project I see charging hard. That is NFT 20 and its governance token Muse. So I dropped the first information on this earlier, which showed that the cross-asset NFT swapper being built for NFTX will be using NFT 20 liquidity pools for some of the swapping. It's pretty big news, but I really want to explain more about this project. As they have shipped the products, the markets just haven't fully understand what they're building yet. Kind of like Uniswap in its early days. Which would make sense. Uniswap is an NFT storefront hiding in plain sight. It just needed a little reworking, and that is exactly what NFT 20 did. Now, everyone should know Uniswap is for fungible tokens, aka cryptocurrencies, that it doesn't matter which crypto you have. This Ethereum is the same value as that Ethereum. They are interchangeable. Non-fungibles do not work on Uniswap because of limited numbers and additions. This NFT is rare and more valuable than that NFT. NFT 20 has solved this. They are a decentralized exchange and protocol for tokenizing NFT projects as ERC20 tokens to make them tradable on dexes such as Uniswap or SushiSwap. And by creating a secondary market of ERC20 derivatives of NFTs, NFT 20 hopes to address the liquidity problem in the NFT space. And the beginning stages are happening right now. Liquidity is starting to build, which some would call low, but the reason? The NFT space is new. It's barely grabbing its footing. Low volumes with NFT 20? Well, that is exactly how Uniswap was just over a year ago. We know today Uniswap is dominant, processing over 1 billion 24-hour volume. What about in January of 2020? Well, I should know. I was covering it before what it was, how to use it before it was popular. Let's see what its volume was like pre-hype throughout 2019 and into the beginning of 2020. Looking at Uniswap, the protocol launched in alpha and did only about 50K throughout January, but since the beta launch, boom. In May, it already outdid 0x with over 6.2 million in volume. Its peak was November 22nd with 8 million in volume, double 0x highest, and as of today, it's about 2 million. It was low, it was in the low millions, but things changed as people caught on, and a similar story is going to happen in my opinion to NFT 20. Why? Well, at first, lower value NFTs will be deposited to these pools, as people will just want to get some monetary value for some of the more worthless NFTs they hodl. Initially, this will create an average price per NFT per project due to arbitrage between NFT markets like OpenSea and Uniswap. It creates the NFT liquidity and average market prices everyone has been waiting for. And these prices are being discovered for 28 different NFT projects through 28 different asset pools. And new project pools can be added at any time, as adding an NFT pool is as simple as clicking Add New Asset, pasting the NFT contract address, clicking Create Exchange, and paying the transaction fee. So I think NFT 20 is going to be important fundamentally, but others within the space do too. Important figures within the NFT space. If you know NFTs, you should know OpenSea, the largest marketplace, as everything is available for sale through their portal. Well, Devin Finzer is the co-founder and CEO of OpenSea, and he just tweeted about NFT 20, saying, "Been waiting for someone to build a generic ERC 721 to ERC 20 wrapper contract to let you trade NFTs on Uniswap, and at Nifty Museum, who is NFT 20, built it." Hey now, but let's get back to my content from yesterday. When I first brought up the project, the developer who was working on the cross-asset swapper for NFTX said NFT20 would be used in some form for it. This was just 3 days ago, February 3rd. Well, 2 days before this, he also said he was talking to big developer names in the space, connected to Aave, both T Stark and Theo, as seen from their profiles, but also NFTX and NFT20. What were they discussing? Two different approaches to come up with capital efficient and composable instant cross-asset loans. Alpha Leak, the project could be plugged into any existing lending platform, aka like Aave. So NFT Index Fund Protocol, NFTX, and the exchange for generalized NFTs and beyond. Bullish, especially if there are connections with some of the big lending names like Aave. So a financial ecosystem and tools are being built around NFTs. Nice, Chico. How about you dive into some of the actual NFTs? Okay, I finally did, and I minted my first NFT because this one is freaking cool, unique, and very limited for Genesis. What am I talking about? Proof of Beauty, POB.studio. So what type of NFTs are these? Well, they are art, but art based on Ethereum transaction hashes, where everything about the piece is generated from the transaction. The colors, the design, and the artistic choices. And once a transaction hash is claimed, it can never be reclaimed. It captures Ethereum economic history. Per example, this is the first ever contract creation on Ethereum, tokenized into a randomly generated art piece. They are going through the Genesis set of these right now, and yesterday they had 900 of 2,555 left. And this will be a good comparison of how popular this is. How many are left when my editor edits this today? But the last one, 2555 of 2555 Genesis, might be pretty valuable, so you have some left. But what do I like about this round of Proof of Beauty? Well, Genesis is the only season where every Ethereum transaction is up for grabs. Later seasons will be more restricted. From their blog post on seasons, they say each season will offer creative new ways to experience the tokenizing of our history. Expect different pricing mechanisms, different amounts of mintable supply, changes to which transactions you can mint, and new visual experiences. There is one thing that is constant for every season. Once a transaction hash is minted in a season, it cannot be minted in a subsequent season. Earlier seasons will have a large domain of transactions to mint. Later seasons will see some transactions already minted in earlier seasons. So what did Chico mint? Well, I really freaking wanted the transaction hash of the contract for the Chainlink token creation, but that was smartly taken. Nice one, whoever owns that one. But since Unibright had a big old day yesterday, the release of the Base Ledger white paper, a historic day for them, and from the website Base Ledger, it heavily involves the UBT token. It obviously does from the flow chart. It's a token for baselining. So I thought, why not tokenize the creation of the UBT token on Ethereum? Another historic day for them, 1,142 days ago, which the receipt is on Etherscan, but now that receipt can be turned into NFT art. Yes, that is my beautiful Enterprise DeFi NFT. Clicking into it, it tells you the block number, transaction hash, palettes used and why, artwork features, nonsense, and what that all is, and finally you can interact with it. Pretty trippy. So I will tell you this, soon Proof of Beauties will have a pool created on NFT20. These art pieces from the Genesis set will find a base value. Shoot, I might create it myself with a random transaction and possibly use their Dutch auction feature for my valuable UBT mint. And then if the NFTX DAO isn't thinking about adding a Proof of Beauty index fund based on Ethereum ERC20 token creations, think Chainlink, think the graphs, think Uniswaps, I could even add UBT, they better soon. And then keep your eyes peeled and ready for Chico's own personal NFT, which is coming with the release of my media website, Blockchain Leaks. It mixes the physical and digital world, kind of like Unisocks. Cheers, I'll see you next time.